Okay, so my name is Manuel. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Affordable Care Act. Well, I'm going to go around like a little bit of background info first, just so you guys can get to know it better. The Affordable Care Act is also called Obamacare, if you may know. There's a 10-title act approved by Congress and signed by Obama on March 23rd, 2010. And I think it was placed into effect this year in January. But its main goals are to provide all Americans with quality, affordable health care. Another thing that it plans to do is to kind of protect people's rights when it comes to buying health care. So it doesn't allow you to get discriminated for having pre-existing conditions or stuff like that. It lowers the cost of Medicare. So when you get older and if you qualify for Medicare, it lowers the cost of that. And actually, what I meant was it lowers the cost of like what Medicare is actually spending right now, so it cuts their spending a lot. Another thing it does, it creates jobs and it reduces wasteful healthcare spending. So that's some background info on that. And another big issue on that is that if you don't participate in the Affordable Care Act, it's as of 2014, it's a $95 tax penalty for every uninsured American. So my main claim is that the Affordable Care Act is it's worth the upfront money needed to start it, and that it's going to reduce the cost of other programs, like healthcare programs, because it's going to keep people healthy. So my first claim is that it's worth the upfront money. And so the net cost of the Affordable Care Act is going to be around up to $1.36 trillion. That's going up to 2023, so almost less than 10 years from now. But what I wanted to tell you guys, I didn't want to tell you guys like the bad part, which was that upfront money. I want to tell you guys that it's actually worth it because every year leading up to 2023, we're going to be saving tens of billions of dollars in healthcare programs such as Medicare and Medicaid and stuff like that. And so within 20 years, we're actually going to eliminate that $1.36 trillion deficit. We're actually going to come up with a surplus, and this is all estimated, by the way. And so we're going to eliminate that deficit, get a surplus, and not only that, but we're also going to be insuring more Americans than ever with this deficit that we previously had that we're going to eliminate. And so another point on that it's worth the money is that the average American is going to be paying between 3 to 9.5% of their income on health insurance, but that's after cost assistance. So what cost assistance is that cost assistance is given to lower and middle class families, and it's given to them so that way they can afford quality health care. So, and it obviously depends on your income. And if one cannot find affordable quality health care after the cost assistance, then they might be exempt from. Well, if they can't afford that, they're probably going to be able to qualify for Medicare, and if they still don't qualify for Medicare, then they're probably going to be exempt from the tax penalty of $95. Taxpayer money is also going to be saved in this Affordable Care Act because people who buy prescription drugs, the cost of the prescription drugs are going to be lowered, and this is going to help the taxpayers because a lot of taxpayers pay for people not being able to afford prescription drugs. So my second claim is that the overall health of citizens is going to improve because this program is kind of shifting to like a transition of not waiting till people are sick before treating them. It's going to be more of a program that you're going to keep people healthy so that way they don't get that sick and you don't have to supply so much money on them when they join Medicare. So it keeps America healthy. And these examples are mentioned in like Title II of the Act, where it says that it states that nutritional info will be like more prevalent, so you're going to be aware of what you're eating more and try to be a little more healthier. And also, it's healthcare experts, not Congress, that are going to be running like the Medicare program. They're going to be trying to figure out ways how to improve it and to make it more efficient. So that way, because Congress people probably don't know that much about it's better to have the healthcare experts in there than Congress running a healthcare service, because the healthcare experts are experts in healthcare. So one more point I want to make is that because of the cost assistance, more people can qualify to buy quality, affordable health insurance, and that way they don't have to join Medicare when they're older. And this, of course, leads to less Medicare spending, and it leads to, a better worth of the program. So in conclusion, I just wanted to address again my main claim, which was that the Affordable Care Act, otherwise known as Obamacare, is worth the money, and it reduces, money being used on, like, money that's being used in other programs such as Medicare, Medicaid. That it cuts a lot of their spending, and yeah, it's just overall, it's really beneficial financially in the healthcare department. Yeah, thank you.
Right, Manuel, we know what the topic area is. The proposition sounds like it's actually two propositions that you've got instead of those being the secondary claims in the speech. So I think you still need a general proposition and then maybe use those 2 points as the secondary structure for the speech. The way you've got it presented, it's basically you've got two arguments. Here's argument 1 and here's argument 2, and they may be connected to each other because of the topic, but I'm not sure that they fit together under a single proposition. That's a little bit problematic, and that's a little bit confusing at the beginning of the speech. In the first part, you say it's worth it. Now, that makes it sound like it's a value claim. If you're going to say it will, in fact, produce substantial benefits, that would be the way to express that as a claim of fact. And then you need to demonstrate that it would, in fact, get those benefits. What I heard in the first section is all the claims that were being made in favor of the Affordable Care Act in the first place without any reason to believe that those claims are legitimate. There aren't any examples. There's not an authority who's given this expertise estimate. There's at one point where you suggest that there is an estimate about what things are going to cost, and I appreciated that, but I don't know where that estimate came from. There's not a single source citation in the presentation. I think, except that you did mention things that were indicated, factual data in Title II that it's supposed to do. But that's what the law is. That doesn't mean that it's going to make a difference. For instance, on that second point, when you're talking about how it's supposed to reduce healthcare costs by managing our health more effectively, and you mentioned, Title II is going to require more nutritional information, for instance. Well, where's the proof that managing nutritional information reduces long-term health care costs? Do we have any examples or past experience that we can make an inference from? Is there even an authority who believes that this is true? We had some of the changes. The healthcare law has been going into effect incrementally, and some of the things that we have seen in the last few years, you may not, you mentioned it, the labeling of nutritional information in the food franchises. Everybody's seen those things. They've got the calorie count and all that stuff at the McDonald's now. That's part of the Title II thing that you were talking about right there. We're going to have, so where's the proof that says people are eating less calories or eating healthier as a consequence of those changes, or that they're likely to do that? That's what we need to have in the argument here. I kind of understand what the theory behind it is, but where's the proof that this is more than just a theory, that it is in fact working? You got off on a couple of tangents about affordability. On the long-term costs of the other healthcare programs, that they're going to be disappearing in the long run. It's a little bit confusing because it sounds like Medicare is going to either be replaced by people getting onto some kind of insurance, and then we won't need to pay for it in the long run, or everybody's going to be on Medicare, and that'll be the way that they are insured. So I'm not exactly sure how those two things reconcile with one another. That seems to be an inconsistency. The biggest problem is that you explain ideas, but it's the same advocacy that we got for the policy in the first place. None of it responds to the criticism that's been made of it, and none of it is documented by any proof that supports those claims. They just remain assertions on the part of the advocates of the Affordable Care Act, and that's where you need to develop a stronger argument. All right. Thank you.